Nadine Keller returns to EastEnders in Jay Brown's storyline, reprised by Jazzy Phoenix. Their connection, formed during Jay's grieving period for wife Lola, led to concerns. Nadine, a sex worker, provided companionship, but Jay's drug use escalated. Nadine's reappearance in April sparks intrigue. Meanwhile, Dean Wicks manipulates daughter Jade's illness in a shocking turn on the show. Other soaps feature abuse scandals and sinister plots. EastEnders' return confirmed for Nadine Keller in Jay Brown's story. She'll be back later in the spring. EastEnders spoilers follow. EastEnders will reintroduce Nadine Keller for another short stint, Digital Spy can confirm. Jazzy Phoenix has reprised her role as Nadine for upcoming scenes featuring Jay Brown. Nadine appeared in the show in September and October last year, while Jay was grieving for his late wife Lola. Jay formed a connection with Nadine because of her resemblance to Lola, but this sparked concern among his loved ones. EastEnders star Diane Parrish shares hair transformation. Nadine was a sex worker and Jay asked her to be a non-sexual sleeping companion while he was struggling without Lola. Their connection grew further, culminating in Jay starting to take drugs like Nadine. EastEnders fans will see Nadine again when she pays a visit to Jay in Albert Square. A show insider told Digital Spy, Jay was in a dark place when he met Nadine, but things got even worse once they were involved. When Jay realized that he needed to sort his life out, he cut Nadine out, and they've not been in touch since. Why Nadine is back remains to be seen. Jazzy has already started filming her new scenes as Nadine and will be back on screen in April. EastEnders' Martin Fowler makes shock discovery in 42 new spoiler pictures. Speculation over a possible return for Jazzy started earlier today, March 18th, when she posted a picture on Instagram showing her with Patsy Kensit, who played Lola's mom Emma Harding. Some fans shared theories that Nadine and Emma could feature in scenes together, but Digital Spy understands that there are no plans for Emma to return at the moment. Jamie Borthwick, who plays Jay, praised Jazzy in an exclusive chat with Digital Spy last year. He told us at the time, Jazzy, who came in to play Nadine, is great. She was fantastic and she was really aware of Danielle, Harold's space. She was like, I don't want to be treading on anyone's toes. But she was fantastic, shout out to her. EastEnders spoilers, evil Dean Wicks manipulates ailing Jade Massoud to lie to doctors about her illness. Dean Wicks has been tampering with Jade Massoud's antibiotics in EastEnders, but unbelievably he was prepared to stoop even lower in recent scenes. Jade recently revealed that she was planning to move to Pakistan with mum Shabnam as soon as she was well enough, which led possessive Dean to take drastic action against his daughter. After she was diagnosed with a chest infection and given antibiotics, Dean began to empty out the capsules before giving them to her, so that she wouldn't get better and would have to stay with him for longer. In Monday night's episode, Jean Slater was left worried when Jade had a serious coughing fit, and she soon managed to get a doctor to come round for an emergency appointment. When Dean returned home and found out that the doctor was on his way, he instantly panicked about being found out. In a shocking move, he manipulated Jade into lying to the doctor in a bid to save his own skin. While the doctor was washing his hands, Dean told Jade he would likely send her back to hospital, somewhere Jade really didn't want to be. Dean managed to persuade Jade to lie to the doctor and tell him that she was feeling better in order to avoid a trip to hospital and, surprisingly, it worked. However, Jean wasn't very happy with the doctor's assessment, and pointed out to Dean that Jade should have been admitted to hospital. It was clear that Dean was fed up of Jean getting involved, and was soon insisting that she leave. With the doctor gone, it seemed as though Dean had gotten away with it, until Jade came through holding his phone. She revealed that he had been ignoring Shabnam's calls and texts, and demanded answers. Will Dean be able to talk his way out of it? Emmerdale abuse scandal escalates as EastEnders exposes a villain in 25 major soap spoilers for next week. Sinister villains and their dastardly crimes are at the center of Soapland next week, with abuse ordeals and gaslighting aplenty. Emmerdale's Belle Dingle faces husband Tom King's wrath as his harrowing behavior continues to reach new heights, while EastEnders rapist Dean Wicks is once again called into question after a warning from someone who knows very well what he's capable of. Over in Hollyoaks, St. Hay and James Nightingale are left fighting for their lives as Warren Fox is on the warpath, hellbent on finding out all there is to know about Ella Richardson's demise, while Coronation Street's Roy Cropper is abused and bullied by locals who jump to the wrong conclusion. In Ramsey Street, Neighbours' latest resident schemer Chelsea Murphy takes her most shocking action yet in a bid to win Paul Robinson's affection. The soaps are all going to be tough to watch next week, and I've got all the latest spoilers so you have an inkling of what's to come ahead of the drama. EastEnders. 1. Stacy urges Jack to do whatever Denise asks in a bid to protect their secret. A family barbecue brings together both sides of Charlie's family, but, in the backyard, Stacy and Jack share a tender goodbye kiss, just as Martin walks in on them. 2. Jade's fundraiser is set to take place at the Vic, under the agreement that Dean doesn't attend. Dean, however, manipulates his way into the event to see Jade's speech, and he begs his daughter to stay in Walford, but Jade wants to go to Pakistan with her mum. Linda, meanwhile, manages to make Jean see that Dean is playing her. 3. Honey is horrified to catch Will vaping and demands to know who sold it to him. After finding out that Avani is to blame, she storms over to confront Priya, but Priya isn't all that bothered. Ravi, however, apologizes. 4. George is made a fuss of on his birthday. Gloria's arrival sets the cat among the pigeons, but she just wants to talk, with George agreeing to hear her out. Gloria insists that he had a happy childhood, but it all proves too much for George, who loses his temper, leading him to break down in Elaine's arms. 5. Penny tries to persuade Lauren to have a 30th birthday celebration, but she's not keen, especially when Peter tells her that he's got a date that night. 6. Priya and Ravi bond over Avani, leading Ravi to ask her to join him for a drink. Priya, however, knocks him back in favor of Martin, who has just arrived at Peggy's. Coronation Street. 7. With Roy in the frame for Lauren's murder, Max pays Reese a visit in prison to find out if the far-right group could be involved, but when he lets slip about Roy being implicated, 2 dodgy men confront Roy at the cafe, locking the door. 8. Dylan pleads guilty to carrying a knife in a public place, and he thanks Sean for his support after he's handed a community service order. There's more conflict, however, when the pair return home to find Eileen with Violet, who had no clue about what's gone on. Violet turns her attention to Sean, blaming him for being a lousy parent. 9. Paul is slurring his words and his new PA struggles to understand him. Billy tries to play it down, but Summer tells him that they need to face facts. Paul's speech is deteriorating. 10. Tracy is left reeling when Steve, on Amy's request, breaks the news that Tommy has accepted a job in Spain. 11. Leanne attends another seminar with Rowan, who is delighted to see her. The pair discuss the seminar afterwards, with Rowan commenting that he hopes to see her again. Leanne enthuses to Nick about how she finds Rowan to be quite inspirational. 12. Despite things still being frosty between them and Cheese sleeping on the sofa, Gemma and Chesney put on a brave face and visit Oak Hill with Linda and Joseph, but it soon becomes clear that something is bothering Joseph. Emmerdale. 13. Kane, Caleb and Aaron prepare to find out if they've inherited the faulty BRCA2 gene. Maura is relieved when Kane tests negative, while there is similar relief over at the Milligan household when Caleb also tests negative. Aaron, however, finds out that he's inherited the gene and, when quizzed by Chaz, he lies. 14. Chaz and Patty's kiss lingers in the air, much to Mandy's dismay, but the beautician claims that she just wants to move on. Marlon, however, lets slip at his party that Chaz broke off the kiss, not Patty. 15. Tom berates Belle over her decision to postpone having children. Belle, however, is soon distracted when Susie references the job offer at Take a Vow, which she was previously unaware of. Knowing Tom was to blame for keeping it from her, Belle confronts him, but he manages to appease her. 16. Pollard is intrigued when Amit presents a lucrative business opportunity, with the two businessmen bonding. Rodney, however, warns him against trusting Amit. 17. Romance blossoms for Liam and Ella. Hollyoaks. 18. St is worried sick for his loved one's safety as Warren is on the warpath. Things are complicated further when Warren answers James' phone, urging St to seek him out at once, or else. Ste does as he's told, arriving to help James, who is in Warren and Heavy Murphy's grasp. The husbands attempt to escape, but they're chased onto the roof of a multi-story car park, where Ste admits he killed Ella as a fight breaks out, with shocking consequences set to ensue. 19. Leela invites Mercedes to her gender reveal party, but Mercedes realizes she wants one too, with Leela upset as the former dog landlady turns the event into a joint party. A fight breaks out between Abe and Joel, but the feuding siblings are stopped in their tracks by the sudden arrival of their mum Marie, who is wearing Mercedes' dress. 20. Sally is told by Sharon that she should talk to John Paul about what they discussed in an off-screen conversation. Sally brushes it off, claiming there's nothing to be worried about, telling John Paul that she'll get scan results in a few weeks. 21. Frankie breaks down to Lucas. JJ interrupts and orders Lucas to stay away from his sister. Neighbors. 22. Chelsea is livid as Paul heaps praise on Krista for the Lion's success, and she starts to feel pushed out even more when he refuses to remove the provision in his will for Therese. Realizing that children are the way to his heart, Chelsea discards her contraceptive pills and attempts to seduce Paul once more. 23. On Paul's advice, Therese resolves to visit her children in Adelaide. Nell, meanwhile, encourages Toadai to fight for their marriage, and he decides to do just that, writing a letter to his wife, begging her to meet him at the camping spot where they first kissed. 24. Haz is surprised when Harold wins a council business award. On a celebratory picnic, Mackenzie and Haz trade their own cute versions of I love you, but their joy is short-lived. The cafe is subsequently trashed. 25. JJ approaches Felix for more self-defense advice. It hits Felix that JJ is emotionally relying on him, and Felix withdraws, leaving JJ feeling let down. Please subscribe our channel.